Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing fine. I hope you had a nice weekend. So today I'm starting earlier, a bit earlier. Um, we will go through Bitcoin chart today. Do a in-depth analysis of Bitcoin. It's looking nice already, but let's start with what are the fundamentals coming for the incoming week. All right. So let me share my screen and we can start doing this. If you have any question, if you want to see something, please just let me know in the chats and we can start interacting, guys. All right, so let's go to Forex Factory. All right, again. So this is going to be an interesting week. Let me change the hour so you can have it in UTC. Okay, so on Monday, we will have flash final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI for the US dollar will bring some volatility. This is a high impact news event as well on Tuesday. Job openings, Wednesday non-farm employment change and ISM per services PMI. Thursday unemployment claims and Friday average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change and unemployment rate. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting week. I'm expecting more volatility starting from Wednesday. Most important fundamentals for the US dollar and for inflation metrics is unemployment claims, unemployment rate, non-farm employment change, ISM services, and non-farm employment change. All right, so expect a bit of a volatility on Monday and Tuesday during these times, but normally when the events are a bit late, it's not going to, in my opinion, it's not going to change anything. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, please make sure to know these events because this is going to bring volatility to the markets, especially to the U.S. stock market, and that can certainly bring the volatility into the crypto markets as well. All right. Now let's go to the charts and let's start with the screening of Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to erase everything that's happening over here. Let's start with the weekly chart. Let's go to the weekly chart and start over here. All right. So I want to see first the rolling VWAP on the weekly chart to see the quarterly Monday. The quarterly rolling VWAP on the weekly chart is an important metric to me. Okay. Let me change this line. I just want to make sure that everything is right. All right. Okay, so the quarterly rolling VWAP is still showing upside momentum. All right, price is currently above it, so overall momentum is still bullish. Right. If we're going to analyze the trend without using the rolling VWAP, we're going to see the trend with market structure. This is the previous higher high. This is the previous higher low. So market structure remains bullish as long as we stay above this level over here. But it's important to notice all of these failed actions above the previous higher high. All right, because when we have failed actions, when we have failed swings on a range formation, so let's say this is a range formation, right? Price is rambling around here. We have a trend, and then we have a failed action. The most likely scenario after a failed action is that we go and test the other side of the range, all right? After a failed action in the other side of the range, it's very likely that we're going to see the other side of the range. It's normal because all of the price action is in favor of Bitcoin declining towards this level. Okay, if we're going to see also some other blocks, and so we could consider having an order block over here that Bitcoin could be leading towards if it's going to decline. All right. If we want to see a continuation, then we most likely want to see a 2 candle closure above the previous higher high on the weekly chart. to see a continuation to 80K, 90K, 100K in the near future. Otherwise, this is going to be just a normal consolidation period on the macro chart, like we're seeing right now. We already have about, yeah, like, yeah, three months of consolidation, basically, here, 84 days as for now. So if we remain in this range formation, next week there's going to be 1 quarter of consolidation, which is completely normal to have. And I would like to see more trending moves, but the macro chart is not going anywhere at the moment. All right, so make sure to know that I'm going to look for the low volume nodes on my chart. Right, so we have this one over here as a support level. There's a resistance level. It seems that Bitcoin hasn't filled yet this small liquidity gap over here as the range EQ as well. We have this low volume node over here, which is extremely important to notice. Let me, so we can have more clear vision of the lower volume nodes. We have an edge of a high volume node here. And then we have another low volume node here. So those are the important ones for me, to be honest. Okay, let me pass this ones to the intra-week chart, which is the 10-hour. But something that it's important to notice here, guys, is these low volume node candles that are being highlighted on the chart. Normally, when we have this kind of low volume scenarios on the candles, normally it's easier to spot these movements on the hourly charts and the lower time frames, right? This not often happens on the higher time frame charts, but when it does, all of these moves tend to get filled because of the low volume environment that appeared here. Okay, so since we're having these low volume node candles, normally the movement that we can expect is something like this, right? Because it needs to fill all of this move that was low volume for the market. That doesn't happen. Like, well, it's something that we can expect, but it doesn't necessarily needs to happen, right? And just letting you know, guys, that these two weekly candles that are appearing here are low volume. Now, if we go, let's check the spot chart, which is also important. Okay, so we basically have the same support and resistance levels for the spot chart. And we have the low volume candle, which is this one, all right? So if this candle is going to get filled in the near future, this little liquidity gap is also going to get filled in the near future, which is going to be interesting to see the market going down towards this level, try to fill some liquidity over here, try to fill the low volume environment, and then continue to the upside, right? Okay, so let's move these levels into our higher time frame chart, which is going to be the 10-hour. All right, it's going to be the 10-hour chart. Okay, now let me switch the coordinates to round numbers because that's extremely important for me, at least. Okay, we have this one. We have this one over here. This one. Those the most important levels at the moment. Okay. And this over here, this zone, which is also important. Okay, like this. We have our zone over here in case Bitcoin decides to crash literally, but it's very unlikely. Otherwise, you already can copy these levels and wait for these levels to reaction for these levels, right? So now I'm going to extend these fair value levels, these fair value areas using the flip tool. So basically what you do is just an extension of these value areas to see which are the most likely levels of resistance where we don't have any data of price yet. This is a very interesting technique that it's very useful when you practice breakout trading. Normally in crypto, because when crypto decides to go mad, you are going to go into uncharted territory, right? And when you have uncharted territory, it's very difficult to find support and resistance levels, especially. Using this B levels extension technique, you can find levels in which it's very likely that certain asset is going to react if we go. So if we break out above this level, then you can expect a reaction here. And if we break out this level, then you can expect a reaction here, right? And so on. When we have more territory open here, like more charting, more price action, then we can have our own B levels with price action that has already happened, right? Now let's move to Now what we're going to do. Let's give me a second. Something's happening here. Okay. Let's go to the 10-hour charts. It seems that okay, perfect. Okay, now we're going to find our intraday B levels on the 10-hour chart. It's extremely important. I have been trading this way, using the weekly chart as my higher time frame, 10-hour as the middle time frame of higher time frames, then the intraday time frame on the 1-hour chart, and then obviously for scalping and intraday moves, the 10-minute chart. All right, so from previous stream, I think I showed you guys how to trade certain candle formation. So for example, if you would have something like this on the weekly chart, right? If you would have something like this on the weekly chart, you can like this pin bar over here that rejected the previous liquidity gap, closed above, remain on a bullish formation on Bitcoin weekly chart. You could have expected a pullback of this candle towards the 0.5% Fibonacci, right? And if we go to the 10-hour chart and look for that, it would be literally a perfect entry to target range highs. We would have just waited for a pullback after this breakout, right? So this entry over here for a swing trade formation, you put the stop loss below the previous failed action, and then you target the next B level on the higher time frame. That's what we're going to do. Basically, do with every single time frame that we look. So right now, on the 10-hour chart for let's say an intra-week trade, we cannot find any kind of opportunity at the moment. Why? Because Bitcoin is not interacting with this volume level and it's not interacting with this volume level, right? So we're basically just rambling around here in no man's land. So the only trades, right? The only trades that we are looking at for now is our intraday and scalping, because that's we are not looking for swing setups at the moment because we don't have the opportunity, because Bitcoin is not interacting with any important level at the moment. All right. As soon as Bitcoin moves towards this level and rejects it, then we could take longs here, right? If not, if Bitcoin goes to this level, break through it, pull back rejection, and we can short here, right? But that's why it's important to have certain areas in which you are going to interact with the market, because if you're going to long here from a swing perspective, you basically would have been, let's say you long here, right? And you targeted this level, okay? That would take you would be in a trade for about 10 days now. And it's basically at the same entry point. So that's why you don't want to interact with this kind of market formations in the higher time frames, and neither on the lower time frames, when you don't have confirmation that something is really happening and that a reversal is coming or a continuation is coming. Okay, so that's important. Now let's find our intraday B levels. Okay, give me a second. All right. So we have a low volume node here. Okay, and this is basically this level over here. I really like when these formations happens on candle closures, two bodies candle closures. We also have this low volume node over here interacting with this candle closures over here. I'm going to draw a zone over there. Then we have another low volume node here interacting with this previously formed liquidity gap as well. Then we have this candle closures over here. We are looking for supports. Then we have another low volume node over here, which is basically this this liquidity gap over here, which has been already filled. So I'm going to use this candle closure formations, which also makes confluence with a higher time frame volume level, right? So those are the levels, and maybe okay. So we have another liquidity gap to fill here, which is also important. That's at the level, and then we have levels over here possibly, right? So I'm going to highlight these levels to the intraday chart ID. Delete this one, okay? And now we go into the intraday chart. So it seems that we had already some levels here. Let me erase and do it all over again. It's awesome that this happened, because this way you guys are going to see that I'm not just rambling around the chart and looking for levels, because I can basically do this all over again with the same levels that I just placed, okay? So we have a volume level over here with this low volume node. We have a low volume node here interacting with this gap, with this liquidity gap. Have another one here. Then we have another one here, which is basically forming. Yep, we have another one there. This area. Okay, now we have another low volume node over here, which is very close to this one. So I don't know if I want to draw it. And this one over here. Okay. So we have these levels that I'm going to bring into the intraday chart. Okay, now we go to the intraday chart. We're going to have something like this, right? These are the bottom levels that are important to me to even consider taking trades for the intraday chart. All right, so if I'm going to long here, right, I'm going to target this level. If I'm going to long here, I'm going to target this level. So you play level to level basically, because this way you avoid getting trapped in the fact that, oh, like, I want the market to go higher. It's possible that the market go higher, or it's possible that the market could go lower, right? Because normally, if we are, let's say, on a short from here, right? Let's say we shorted this, and we are expecting the market to go as low as this low over here, and the market is just rambling around here. You could have already closed this trade, basically, by closing it here at 67K to 166. And take your profit and then look for the other opportunity. Right? That's the important thing about trading level to level. Because if you're trading basically trend following, then you're not taking profits on the way up or the way down. You're just letting your trades run until they hit a trailing stop loss or some kind of protector for your trading strategy, because otherwise you might lose all of the profits. Okay, so that's why it's important to, in this case, trade level to level, look for opportunities level to level. Okay, let me erase this. Let me check here, confluences, right? So we have this level over here, which is a low volume node, and then we have this level over here, which is a low volume node. All right, so these are levels of reaction, but I'm more likely moving this level over here because I don't like the fact that levels are too close to each other. That I don't like that when that happens, because it doesn't give room to trade. Right, so we have a zone over here that it's basically this liquidity gap on the 10-hour chart. And those are going to be the levels. If you want to know more resistance levels, it's easy. You just go to the B-levels extension using FIB, all right? You extend the fair value area here. And then you have another resistance area, another resistance area, another resistance area above it, right? If you have history, you don't need it. But since we don't have history above basically 71K, yeah, we do have history over here, but we can trade some supports using the previous chart. But if we're going to go above 73K, okay, all-time high, then you will need to use the Fibonacci extension for that. All right. So for the swing chart, just the 10-hour, we don't have any setup as of now, okay, because basically the chart is not interacting with any key level. Okay. Now let's go to the intraday chart and see. I had been long since Fridays, to be honest, because we did have this interaction here with this pin bar. I waited for the pullback of the pin bar to on the 10-minute chart that I'm going to show you guys and targeted this level. Okay, so I've been holding this trade for 2 days already. It's in profit and waiting for the monthly transition. It's going to be a volatile period today as well, coming for the weekly transition. So this trade is already secured and waiting to be hit at this profit level. So as for now, we don't have any high related volume candle rejecting neither 67K 266 or 68K 650. So if you want me, I will just round up these numbers. Okay, that's the range, that's the fair value area right now that we need to take into consideration for any kind of setup. Okay, you can copy these levels that are going to work for you until tomorrow. All right, so that's what we're dealing with right now. Let's check CBD. It's nice, right? CBD is going nice. Trying to fill this volume gap over here towards this level of rejection. I'm not seeing any kind of divergence at the moment, other than this one over here, which basically we had lower lows making on the chart, while basically CBD started making higher highs since here. This is an absorption pattern because basically shorts are getting trapped here, but it can also be an exhaustion pattern. It means that shorts are getting exhausted here, and market participants for the market only orders are only trying to long in the market. All right, so we need to wait here. We either break down from this level or we go towards 68K 650. Okay, so as for now, we don't have any trade on any time frame on Bitcoin, to be honest, because of the range formation. So make sure to be patient, guys. If we go to the 10-hour chart, we don't have any trade. If we go to the okay, if we go to, I don't know what's happening with my computer lately, but okay, we fix it. If we go to the intraday chart on the 1-hour chart over here, we're basically not having any trade at the moment because we're not having high related volume formation here, neither here. All right, and if you want to go lower, let's say you want to trade the 10-minute chart, the whole weekend basically was a consolidation. I told you guys there wasn't a long. I am holding this long already. Okay, it's a one-to-one trade. Nothing spectacular, right? But it's I need to wait for the weekly transition period and possibly New York trading session to see if we're going to hit take profit or stop loss. After this candle formation over here on the intraday chart, bullish pin bar, market structure shift after the bullish pin bar. So you have a setup here, right? So if I have any setup, guys, I will share with you as soon as we interact with these levels. Then we're going to have setups, that's for sure. On the incoming week, since we're going to have more volatility because of the high impact news that we're going to deal with. If I have any setup, I'm going to share it with you guys as soon as I have it. All right, guys. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Twitter. If you want to join the Bird Nest, then contact me on Discord, and I will make sure to respond as quick as I can. All right, guys. So have a good one. See you the next week.